Hey,
How are you?
good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad.
Yes, yes.
Few
Love to
technical errors.
Huh?
So just a few technical errors,
Uh,
honestly.
yes.
Instagram.
I would say 3 out of 4 times, and I'm just
No
like,
surprise. Yeah.
I thought you guys were on the up and up. What's going on? Anyway, welcome to Hot Take Tuesday live on a Wednesday. Anyway, okay. So I have my special guest. How many films in a year? And if you don't mind introducing yourself, and what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm Poppy of How Many Films in a Year. I'm from Lancashire in the UK. It's not so sunny here, unfortunately. I reviewed 1,133 films in 2022,
Ooh.
and I've eased off a hell of a lot now. I'm studying for my master's in film, and of course that's taken a lot more time. So less reviews and more in depth, which is good, and more time to do these things, which is great.
Yes, I love it. And you said Poppy is your name?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And I am Lisa, your host for today. So we are going to be talking about Last Christmas.
Great.
The first of all, it was my first time watching, by the way. I hadn't.
Right. Oh wow.
Yes, I
Okay.
hadn't seen it before. Like, it's one of those movies where I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I should check that out. And then I never checked it out. So, and you have brought it back to my remembrance. So I want to thank you for that. One of the main reasons why I love doing these hot take lives is not only getting a chance to explore the people within the community, getting to know people talking about movies. I love movies, but it forces me to watch movies that I wouldn't either normally watch or I've forgotten about or didn't get a
Yeah,
chance to
definitely.
get to. So this forces me to watch because like my schedule is so busy. I love film. I love movies, but like I can give you 50 reasons why I don't have time to sit down and watch one. But if I'm doing these, it forces me because it's more like homework and things like that. So thank you very much.
Get it.
Perfect. And congrats.
I'm glad it was a good choice.
Thank you. And congrats. I think you just said that you just finished up some round of testing or something.
Yeah, so I submitted early hours of Tuesday morning. Oh
Ah,
God. So glad it's done.
it's
What a
over.
module.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
over.
it's
You're good.
like let's just enjoy Christmas, and it's nice.
Oh yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right.
All the time, got all the Christmas films in the world now.
I thought it was fitting. I thought it was fitting that this would be what we talk about today, being within the holiday. Like it just everything just fell into place perfectly. So, all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk spoilers. So we're not going to go in order, so you don't have to worry about like outline. We can just jump all over the place. We'll talk about what we liked, anything we didn't like, and just a nice little free flow conversation. No pressure. No pressure. So I'm going to start with did you how you felt about the movie?
I absolutely love this film. It's one when it was released in cinemas, I went to see it like 3 times, and even took my friend to like a mum and baby screening because she just had a little one, and I knew she'd love the film, and it was just brilliant. All the songs, it's just amazing. No good if you're doing Whamageddon, of course, but
So
it's worth it.
you said mom and baby screening.
Yes.
That's a special thing that they have.
And so the lights are dim, they're not off, and you've got babies, they can make noise, it's not a problem. It's everybody with like sort of newborns up to like 2 years old,
Oh
little
my
bit of a bigger
gosh.
children can run around a bit, no one minds, they can have snacks,
We
it's not a
should
problem. It
do
was
that
really
here.
nice. Yeah, sadly the cinema shut down. So, and I've not found any replacements like a mum and baby screenings, and all my friends are having children these days. So it's a shame.
No.
Yeah,
Oh
it's a
man.
shame.
Oh my goodness.
It's so much fun though. We did quite a few. We went to, I think, 3 or 4 just in the space of a couple of months while we were both off work, and it was really good.
Wow.
This is definitely my favourite one though. Yeah.
Whew, man. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna look into proposing that. See if I can talk to my local cinemas. See if it's something they can offer like a special like a noon thing or a Tuesday thing, something where it's not gonna affect. You know?
Yeah,
I love that.
it's sort of like a day, and it's sort of like early morning, late afternoon sort of times. It's really good. You know, big kids are at school; they can actually spend time with the little ones, but do something that they enjoy.
Yes.
You know, it's really good.
Okay, I like that idea. So I don't know if you had a chance to check out my hot take on the
briefly. Obviously, with the submission. I mean, yesterday I went to sleep at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So I was very much asleep.
Oh no!
And then I've worked till then,
you
so
anything.
no rest for the wicked, unfortunately.
Yeah, yes. Concur. I concur. So I went in expecting a paint by numbers rom-com. Just this is fun. I do like those. And I was so pleasantly blown away and surprised by what I got. I was not anticipating this at all. And I loved the change of pace. I love the difference. The difference thing with this, because again, I love rom-coms, the funny little story. I do love them. I don't see anything wrong with that. But to have something new in the genre, it was refreshing. It was very refreshing, and I enjoyed all of the characters, even Catalina, she was a chore in the beginning. She was a chore. But I loved watching her arc, you know, and how she changed, and I'm just ready to really just dive in, and also I've been listening to Last Christmas like on repeat, basically, since watching this movie, which I watched twice. So I know how you felt. Like I watched it, I'm like, I kind of want to watch it again. So I managed to squeeze in a watch today before our live. So I was very happy about that.
Amazing. Yeah, this is my sort of end of November watch every year. Because I play Whamageddon. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but you have to avoid Wham's Last Christmas if you can.
Wait, what's it called?
Whamageddon. So from the 1st of December at midnight to Christmas Day at midnight, you have to try not to hear Last Christmas. So this film is obviously quite terrible for that. So it's always last thing I watch in November.
Wow. Okay.
I'm already out this year, so it's fine. Typically. Again. 1 year, I'll make it.
1 year.
1 year.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I want to start with the opening of this film. Where she's in the choir singing, and I thought that in this couple of little minutes that they have it on screen, I feel like they did a really good job of like giving us that whole family dynamic. It's clear
completely,
yeah, it's clear Catalina was the star. It's clear that Martha, I shouldn't say is not the favorite, but you know what I mean. Like she isn't shining, you know, stars. You know, it's like it's Catalina's time. Let her be her time. And then you know her first crush. You see. Well, I'm guessing it's her first crush. You see in a choir, you know, like her first, like just the way she looks at her, like, okay, you're like, okay, I got it. And then the mom, like how like stiff she is, and I'm like, okay, I got this whole dynamic in just 2 minutes.
Yeah, so focused on one daughter, but paying absolutely no attention to the other. You know, they really focusing on that, and I thought that was really important. It's like, yeah, okay, it's a show, and it's like, no, that they paid a lot of attention to that. You know, that's important straight away.
Yes. And then once you know later how it feels like Catalina has been has been in a way allowed to pursue her dream, whereas Martha had to follow in her father's footsteps, whether or not she wanted, because apparently, no one stopped to ask her, do you want to be a lawyer?
Yeah.
So I thought that was like very interesting. Now, I will say, if I'm being honest, I feel like she low-key enjoys being a lawyer. She probably just didn't like being,
definitely.
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
she still wanted it to be her choice. I think at the end of the day, it probably would have been her choice, or something within that industry.
Yeah.
But just because
a bit too much pressure. Yeah.
Just the fact that like I didn't really get to choose, even though I would have chosen this. It means something. It means something. So, which I really liked it. Now, I'm gonna talk about the big like reveal, the big twist. I'm gonna throw it out right now. So, okay. Again, this is last Christmas, guys. So, halfway through the movie, it occurred to me. I was like, wait a minute. I have not seen him talk to anybody else but her. And I was like, is he really there? And then I vaguely had like a theory that he wasn't really there. But my theory was the fact that like, oh man, she is recovering. She did have surgery or whatever. What if she's developing a brain tumor? So she's seeing him, but he's not really there. So that was where I started to go down that road. And then somehow I dropped that theory, and I figured, oh, he's probably homeless. Maybe he's dying. And when the big reveal happened, and it was like, oh no, he was already gone. I was like, I should have held on to my theory. I was almost there.
I was along the lines of, he must be homeless. He's saying that he volunteers there, but maybe he's actually just staying there, and he just helps out to pretend that, it isn't his home at the moment. Yeah.
The one thing that I do enjoy, movies that where there's something beneath the surface, like a secret that's going to come out.
Yeah.
I enjoy when there's dialogue that kind of is ironic or hints at it, or you go back and like, oh. And one of the things was when she had poured her heart out in his apartment, and she said, you make me feel like I'm solid. You make me feel like I exist. And to hear her say that to him.
Watching it the second time, you're like, okay, there we go.
Yep.
Who knew? Yeah.
Yes.
He is literally whole because of him.
Yes.
Yeah. It's such a good storyline. And it's amazing that it surprised me, because films don't often do that. So I'm very, very happy.
Yes.
Like, cold. Yeah, me and my friend just looked at each other like, what? Like, there's no way. Like, how did we not see this? This is brilliant.
Yes. Yeah. So on my second watch, okay, I was like, oh, they're so slick. They're so slick. Here's something they also did to keep your guard down. If you notice, she herself pretty much, for the most part, only wears like two major outfits: the elf outfit and the sweater with her leopard jacket. She's always dressed like that. So I feel like it was a way to put your guard down, so where you didn't know this. He never changes his clothes either.
Yeah,
I didn't know that this time around.
How did you not know this? Every time, I always forget, and then it's like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Like, is he?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, sorry. It's talking about homeless. It's dealing with all kind of stuff. So, in a way, you could also be like, okay, well, he's on a bike. He has a phone, but he doesn't have a phone. So you just
married.
Huh? Oh, you thought it was married?
I thought married. Yeah.
So let me tell you why I didn't think he was married. Because we had already dealt with that in the beginning when she and a funny story about that. So in the beginning, when she meets the guy and he wakes up, he makes her breakfast the next morning or whatever, and he's like, I'm just gonna, pop off outside or whatever, go run. And in my mind, because I didn't watch the trailer for this movie. Like, I mean, I didn't rewatch it. So I didn't remember much. But I knew there was something going on. So I thought, oh, this is it. He's gonna die on his way over there, and that's what messes her up. Like I was like, got it. And then the missus, so to speak, came home, and I was like, oh.
I just thought that was a complete red herring. I'm like, oh, it's happening twice. There's no way.
There's no way. There's no way. I didn't think it was marriage. I didn't think it was marriage. At one point, I thought homeless or dying. Especially when he said, you can't count on me. I'm like, oh, he dying. He dying. I'm like, it's what is it? What is it that, oh, shoot. What's the name of that movie with something about our stars? I forget it. I'll message you after because it's another great love story, but also like sad. So who was your favorite character?
I mean, it's got to be Kate. It's Emilia Clarke for me. She's just, I love the character development throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you should hate her, but there's just something about her. She's so charismatic and goofy and just incredibly clumsy, like myself. And I just find her really entertaining. Like, she's got that proper British sense of humour as well. You know, if someone can make me laugh properly, and it's the facial expressions, I mean, that's Emilia always. But especially in this, I think she was just allowed to be a bit like herself and bring that into the character, which really, really worked.
Yeah.
Of course, Santa, though. Santa's a very close second.
Yeah, I was gonna say Santa did such a great job. I love when she was on the phone and she like hit her with a toy and she's like, that's my elf. I call her my lazy elf, my payroll waste of time elf. She just started going down the list. I was just a question disappointment. It was just so hilarious. Like their interaction was so genuine because you could tell, like, even when she was being short with her, she still cared. She still loved Kate. And I know that it took a lot for her to allow Kate to continue working there after that major. Listen, I was like, oh, you fired. I was like, oh, she's fired. And I wasn't blaming Santa at all. Like, you fired.
No. She'd have been long gone.
Yeah. And when she said, one more screw up and you're gone, I was so scared, Poppy. I was like, oh, she gonna do something. She gonna do something. I was so scared for her. So I was very relieved when she did.
The woman has patience of a saint. She really does.
I'm starting to understand why she sells Christmas items all year round.
Definitely.
She's got a little bit.
I love how even she's softened, though. Like a side character like that doesn't normally have such a good character arc. A lot of the time, they're kind of there, like, okay, like they might get married or something like that. But here it's like, what, actually, she has a really good just change of personality. She just softens towards her and obviously meets the man finally. And it's like, hang on, she is actually human. Who knew? It's really good.
And I wonder if she was a little softer before Kate started messing up all the time.
Maybe, yeah. She got obviously into this rut, and it's like, okay, like, what am I doing? But I can't fire her. I feel a bit sorry for her. I'll keep her going for now. Hopefully there's nothing else that she does wrong. Yeah.
So what I noticed, right? What I appreciated is the contrast between Kate's hookups and every meaningful relationship in this movie. So, what I mean is like her hookups are purely physical, right? There's no really getting to know, just one and done. And yet, every meaningful relationship in this movie, there is no bedroom intimacy there. So you've got, Sansa and her man. You've got Kate and Tom. You've got Marta and Alba. And even, well, I mean, they're more and more side characters, but even funny enough, like her pregnant friend and their husband. But
there's just nothing there.
Yeah, so I liked that separation there, kind of like showing the layering, the love, that physicality it's good and it's important, but what really stands the test of time is more than just that in a relationship, and I like how they did that, and separated that, and it really showed also the growth in Kate, when she turned down that guy in the bar and the drink. She was like, "You're right. You know what? I don't get any of this. I'm gonna go home." And I was like, "Good for you. Good for you, Kate.
Like, finally. Well done."
Like,
there we go.
And so, what I also like about Kate is that, like, just yes, she was a mess. Yes, there was stuff going on, but like you could tell she was in a bad spot, right? But I feel like they did a great job of like subtly having her spiraling. It felt subtle to me. Yeah. It felt subtle. It wasn't like I'm almost sloppy drunk all over the place. But it was there. It was definitely there, and I feel like that's more true to real life. A lot of times when someone is like spiraling and they're struggling, it's not always in your face, super obvious. They're all sloppy all over the place, like, So I like how they did that as well. So I was like, oh, Kate, you're in a much worse place than I realized.
That functioning alcoholic sort of vibe. It's
yes.
It's like, okay, like she clearly has some issues. She's not completely hard at it, but like she gets to a friend's house and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go out, and it's like, okay, like you just got there, like, be nice, just sit for 5 minutes maybe. It's all it takes. It's like, okay, she's that desperate. She really needs a drink, and she probably knows her friend won't give her one.
Yeah,
is my guess.
Yeah.
And
I think also, earlier, before she took her nap, her friend was starting to like pry and ask her questions, like, "Hey, what this from the doctor?" And she's like, "We're not being pregnant, huh? What's going on?" Like deflecting like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like the longer I'm there, the more you try to pull out of me, the more I'm going to have to face and self-reflect, and I don't want to do that. So I understand her wanting to leave expeditiously.
Yeah, definitely.
And kudos to, I actually don't remember his name, but kudos to the husband, because she had already wrecked some stuff, and he was like, "She can come back."
Like, really? The things you do for your other half, absolutely. You just know, he definitely loves his wife. It's like, to put up with that over and over.
That's love. You've convinced me. You guys love each other for real, for real.
There's no way.
I like when she put her foot up on the couch and they their eyes met, and he looked at her like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Catalina, what are you doing, baby girl?"
Oh dear. Set him off already. Yeah.
Oh jeez.
You can tell we're clearly close with each other, her and the husband. Just as well as the wife.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really nice to be best friends, partner. you've got to get on with them. You know, it's one of those.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can tell the steps of them. It's like, you know what, I do really like you, but please get out of my house. Kind
Yes.
of vibes.
Yes. Yeah, no,
Like you remove me a
yes.
little bit too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciated the fact that he wasn't some like butthole, you know, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like he was a reasonable, nice guy who she had pushed the limits.
Yep.
She unfortunately she had just pushed the limits, and everyone who watched this movie, I feel like, understood where he was coming from. Nobody faulted him for his response. Nobody.
No.
Everyone was like, no, we get it. No, we get it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Have
He's
you
not wrong.
have you had that? Oh, well, are you able to answer that question?
I mean, with certain friends' partners, probably like they sort of push the limits, and it's like, it's like you can't say anything because that'll ruin the friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those, definitely, and it's like,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
I'm like, why do you cry? Like, it's the worst. Like, oh dear. Yeah.
I actually have had a friend
Yeah.
like uh who was kind of like Catalina in the beginning, but I don't mean like spiral a mess.
Yeah.
I mean like kind of selfish and like really only thinking about them. They don't think about like you, and they take advantage of stuff. Like I've had that happen, and be like, it's one of those things where you give and you give and you give, and then at some point you're like,
I'm done. Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Now, in this situation, it without getting too much details, it was their decision. Like they were like, nah, we're ending the friendship. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I found myself like I was sad, and then a couple months later, I was like kind of relieved because I just realized like without them in my life, like how much more there was to things. Like I don't know. Without going into detail,
calmer, and you don't waste as much energy, I find.
Yes, you got it. Thank you.
Why am I putting all of this in? Like,
yeah. So but I was very happy to see that Catalina was it, because I thought honestly when I watched it, I'm like, oh, she loves his friends forever. So I was very happy to see that she was able to mend these bridges she was burdened. Mend them.
Yeah. I think she did it just before it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially with the sister, it was like you could see her coming around the first visit, and then as soon as she got the wine, it's like, yeah, she's smiling. There we go. Yeah. She's like, okay, she's thought about me. She's picked up my favourite bottle of wine, and she's left me her necklace that means so much. Like, she's on the right path then.
Yes. Soften. And and to kind of piggyback on that, I really enjoyed how it kind of had a pay it forward type of vibe, that that movie, where once she started giving, it was almost like a ripple effect, I should say. And it's not to say that like she's the only one who could have changed anything, but it's just it shows the importance of us on an individual basis, how we can really change and affect the atmosphere around us, the community around us, because her good deed, her giving, her selflessness opened the doors for other people to kind of expose their selflessness and for them to give, and it had this nice ripple effect within the community, and even in her family, like at the end, her dad and her mom talking, that's huge. That is huge. And
like, wow, okay, like she's had a real impact on them just by realizing her own mistakes, which is so nice.
Yes.
Like, I mean, Emma Thompson blew me away.
Oh my gosh.
She was so good, as usual. I mean, that's no surprise.
No surprise. Like, I love her in everything she's in.
How they made her look that old, though? I'm like, but you don't look anything like this. Like, how? Yeah, it's You know,
Yeah.
going from completely sort of haggard looking, and you know, you can tell she just feels a bit brighter towards the end. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you know, maybe she isn't as old as they're actually portraying her either.
Well,
Yeah, really.
I think not to blame her too much, but I think Catalina's antics probably didn't help.
Oh,
You know,
probably.
she
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
sleeping
I think
well.
the illness, yeah, the illness definitely, because obviously the struggle through that.
Hmm.
Her mum was literally like, you know, helicopter parent, like, I can't leave your side even though you're an adult.
Hmm.
You know, we'll go through this together. And it's like, you need to just stop and realize about your health. Like, take a chill, you
Yeah.
know. I think it's where she just sort of started relaxing because she knew that she was on the right path, you know. She found a love of singing again. And the mum
Yes.
was like, oh, finally, like, now I know she's back to
Hmm.
herself. I think that was the point, you know, she could really just think, actually, you know, I'm done. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
so good.
um, I would. Well, I will say that real quick before I go into that. I wonder how much of her mother and father's, like was because of her sickness and the
Oh,
response to it, and you
definitely.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
I
just,
think part of that was obviously the dad's had to become a taxi driver instead of doing what he
yeah,
loved. You know, he's having to work twice as hard to earn probably half the money as well, which is never fun. Yeah, it's a lot of stress on him. It's like, does mum actually work? You know, maybe a lot of that was the
mm,
stress. Yeah.
you know what that reminds me of, and I feel like that's the case for him and for Catalina is that saying, a dream deferred makes the heart sick. Um, like when your love, your passion, the dream, which is something you wanted to do, when you realize you
Yeah.
cannot do it, what it does to you. Which
Yeah.
we see it all. We see it in different ways. An easy one to say is is a professional athlete who injures themselves and they can never play again.
Yeah.
That's like a serious, for them to rebound and try to find something new. You know,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
They really
So,
have to push themselves, and
mhm,
you just find they're not quite themselves through the whole
mhm.
situation completely. Yeah.
So I felt like her sickness stopped her from really pursuing her singing like she wanted to. And
Yeah.
of course for the dad being a lawyer. And in a way, then we talked about Marta. In a way, like her not having her ability to have her dream.
Yeah.
You know, which it worked out for her because she got lucky. She ended up liking it.
Yeah.
She ended up liking it and found a partner who makes her very happy. And having a dream, having a job that you like, and a partner who loves
Yeah.
and takes care of you, that can take you a long way, a long way. So I think those two things are what's really helped Marta kind of not be too bitter and angry to her sister, because she could have been way more bitter and angry toward her,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
wasn't. She
Definitely.
wasn't,
Yeah.
and she didn't seem to be towards her parents too much. So all things considered, she's in a much better place than I think some other sibling would be. Having
Oh,
to do it.
completely. Like, she's so cool-headed, but I think a lot of that is obviously partner having that nice life that's separate.
Yes.
Like, no, I don't have to go home all the time,
Yes.
but I'll go home once in a blue
Hmm.
moon to celebrate, or once a week. It just keeps that life separate so she can be
Yeah.
herself.
And
Yeah.
can I just say that Catalina's Kate, her what's the word I'm thinking of? Her gift, her singing gift. I saw, like, so what's funny is when she went to the audition, which they did not have to be that mean. They did not.
No,
That was so unnecessary.
it wasn't that bad.
It was so unnecessary. Oh my goodness. but I was like, okay, it's not, to me, I'm like, okay, I see why you're not going to be picked. And I'm like, I wonder if her operation affected her voice, but then later on she's singing, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
she's had a bad night.
Yeah.
And she ran,
I think it's
and
more
she
like the
ran through you.
confidence.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Yeah, I think it was the confidence more than anything. Like she didn't have that. She just thought, you know what, I'm no good. I'm not getting jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Then she's got sick, and it's like I've spent so much time not working. That's probably affected it too.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, like the film industry, you have to keep working to keep getting roles.
Yes.
And I think that's definitely, she's just taken a hit, and it's like, I can't do this. Yeah.
After hit after hit. Poor baby girl. Not to mention she ran halfway across town to try to make it. So that's a lot of lung power she's using.
Oh, definitely. I just, yeah, such a great film.
I think she also has a future as an artist. Her artwork was very nice. The signs she made.
Like, how? Yeah.
I thought they were going to explore that too.
Yeah. So good. Yeah.
So
I like to think that she just kept doing that sort of stuff for the homeless shelter. You know, kept putting on different shows. That's how I like to think of it all.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yes, yes. And she won over the jaded manager of the. I mean, I don't know what his role is, but the head of the. She run him. He was so jaded. I was like, oh man, he was so jaded, and she won him over, which I love. And I feel like she found her love with this. I feel like I'm with you. I think she continues to volunteer at the homeless shelter. That's just part of her life. Period. No matter what she goes through, that's part of it. I thought that they would hint at something, like, because the guy that fancied her, the guy that works there, I thought they would hint at something. I wasn't sure if there was something. Like, I know there was a little something there on his end, but I wasn't sure if they were like kind of hinting at it at the end, or if it was just like, no, we're good friends.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
They might do a sequel one day.
I don't know how much I'd want it.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit like Crazy Rich Asians, you know. Same people to watch.
I mean, they are doing a sequel to that though.
But never was.
But they are working on a sequel right now on that.
Yeah.
And
it's been a bit for a while, so I'll believe it when I see it. It's one of those. It's been so long, I'm like,
Well,
there's no movement.
It's in pre-production right now. If you go on IMDb, it's there in pre-production.
Henry, it's taken for quite a while, unfortunately. So I'm like,
oh no,
we'll see.
I live on IMDb. I be checking stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Now Henry Golding, Tom. So for me, very, 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 very easy on the eyes. I appreciated all of his screen time, and I was like,
with you, yeah, definitely.
And when she said, when he said, this is the narrowest alley in London, I'm like, he might murder you, but he's gonna look good doing it. So let's just roll with it. It's fine. It's fine.
It's so good.
It's fine. So what I liked about the movie as well is how, how he saved her twice and she saved herself at the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So he physically saved her by giving her his heart, and then he saved her again when he came in to help her direct her eyes, direct her sight, which I like, because a lot of times it's so easy. It's so easy to focus on the negative, to focus on what's wrong with your day or what's wrong with your week, and you kind of forget to admonish what went right, what things are good, the people that you have in your life. And I love that, like, he for the most part, all he did was point a finger, drop a word, and it was on her to kind of like roll with it. And I loved that. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, Poppy, I cried at the end. Hmm.
Yeah, fair,
Both times.
fair, fair, fair. Yeah.
Both times.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
after I had watched the movie, I thought about it and cried again. I was like, oh, like
Yeah.
my, my, my family will make fun of me because I'm definitely a crier. Like I get involved,
Yeah.
and my husband will be like, "It's okay.
Yeah.
They're not really gone. They have a movie coming out next week. It's okay."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't understand.
It takes a lot. Takes a lot for me to cry at a film, unfortunately. Although I think I am getting a bit softer as I get older.
Oh, yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah, no.
I mean, Titanic, nothing. Don't even shed a tear. Don't well up. Nothing. And I was like, how? I don't know.
Wait, but did you cry on this movie?
No.
Oh, it's okay.
No.
It's okay. No,
I
no.
just loved it. I was like, it just filled me with joy. I was like, I know it's meant to be really sad, but it's a really big moment for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then when he said, take care of my heart, it was always
Yeah.
gonna be yours one way or the other. I'm like, okay, relax.
Wow. Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it's like relax. It was just
Yeah.
I don't know, it just I don't cry on every movie.
Yeah.
But just this movie was just so it was such a lovely surprise. There was so much to it. It wasn't just, oh, girl meets boy. It was about family. It was about friendship. It was about like your value to yourself, you know, and it just woo encompassed everything.
Yeah. Shows you what's important in life, and that's the main thing I think to take away from it.
Yes.
Stopping, enjoying the moment,
Yes.
you know, and the good things will eventually come if you try.
Yes.
It's the best thing.
And I noticed that on a second rewatch, and it was two things. One, in the first time I watched it, I noticed when he was like kind of like doing his little like, you know, like twirling around when they were walking, but watching on a second round, I'm like, oh, he's avoiding people.
Yeah.
But like really avoiding them so that they don't just walk through them and dispel the illusion for her. So I went, oh, interesting. And then in that flashback, when she was getting her heart transplant last year, I saw that she had long brown hair.
Yeah.
And here it is. She's got short blonde hair, and a very good indication in real life and in movies with characters when they go through trauma or they're trying to kind of remove themselves from something, physical change. And for women, at all times, it's the hair.
Oh, yeah.
Chop, chop. And I was like, oh, wow. It just, she just been running.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. We've all been there. We've all dyed our hair some crazy colour and, cut it all off. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd also like to nominate Emily Clark's eyebrows for an Oscar because I love her eyebrows.
They're amazing.
And she's expressing.
They really are.
And she, oh man, they're just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing half the lifting. I'm like,
they're just incredible. It's like, how did they look so good?
Yes.
You know? Like, did you escape through the thin eyebrow phase that left them to never grow back?
Look,
like, everybody went through that.
Look,
but not her. Like, how?
I understand that the industry is very hard, and that keeping a certain look is necessary. But I really hope she never has to resort to like putting Botox or anything up here because it would freeze it. And I need you to express your eyebrows. I love them so much. Please. You can put it anywhere else. Don't put it here.
I don't get that impression from her. I think she would just carry on. Yeah. I just get that impression from her, really. She's like, I don't care. I'm just going to be me.
Yeah.
And that's what works. That's what makes her stand out in so many roles.
Yes.
There's a little bit of her in every single role.
Yeah.
You know?
I
Yeah.
hope that is a trend
So good.
amongst actresses that would grow and continue.
Yeah.
I know Hollywood doesn't like letting any woman age gracefully, but I hope that they ignore them and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's
so
getting better these days, so
yeah,
she might be in with a chance. She might just get to carry
yeah,
on.
yes.
Yeah.
So for you, what was your favorite scene in the film, if you have one?
If I had to pick, tricky. There's just so
Right?
many. Yeah. I think one that made me laugh more than it probably should have done is Mr. Elio as Santa talking about all the previous roles she's done and all the names she used to have, like Kitty. And
Yeah.
it just really amused me. I was like, oh my God, yeah.
It's like,
Like she's
your
just,
name's not really Santa?
yeah.
No.
Like, wow. Like, who knew? You're like, oh wow. Like typical British humour there, just so sarcastic. Like, no, really? Yeah. What about you? What's your favourite?
You would think that I asked you this question because I already had my answer, and you'd be wrong. I'm trying to think. Okay. I think it's hard to narrow it down, but one was in the park with him and her in the park.
Yeah.
And I know this is cheating, but both times they were in the park when it was bright and sunny and then when it was snowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like that bonding and him, yeah.
Quiet moments that just really set the pace. Yeah. Really worked well.
Yes. And you realize how much he really observed and paid attention, appreciated life. So I was like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
And I am also going to bring up, so I forget who she was talking to, but this is closer to the end when she's becoming very like more self-aware and self-analyzing, and she's telling somebody, I think she was talking to Santa actually, about Tom, and she said something about what is it, like him seeing through her because she's made a career out of being a victim.
Yeah.
And Santa was like, I like him. I like how and I thought that was such a very honest, self-aware answer that she gave, and analyzed herself with. I really appreciated that. Like, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
And it was, and there is something to be said. Things happen, and it's a shame that people sometimes aren't allowed to try to get away from being a victim. They're always going to be seen as a victim. It like puts them in a prison. Sometimes they put it there themselves. Sometimes other people put them there, and it just it keeps you from moving on. And it's just,
I think a lot of that is her mum.
Yeah.
Because like, no, you can't do that. And it's like, no, let me go and live my life. I think she needed to do that.
Yeah.
To then move on.
Yeah.
She went through such a difficult time, not being able to go out, not being able to see her friends. And it's like, actually, like, I just need to go and blow off some steam, get away from my mum, And it's sad, but I think she just needed that to just lift her spirits a little bit and then make her realise. Yeah.
Yeah. And
great contrast.
Yeah. And I could definitely see when she finally did return home that first night, her mother just talks about how she can't sleep, somebody's gonna sleep. I'm just like, oh, I can only imagine how much guilt she was throwing on her on a daily basis. How it was just so much. It was so bad. My girl was like, I'm gonna take my chances on the streets. It was that bad.
Like, yeah.
During winter. Oh my gosh. So but I love, and what's funny is I love when she's sitting down with her mom and her mom says something and she has this look on her face that's clearly like, fine, I'll be the bigger person and make this work. Like, you know what I mean? I just loved it. And then
I'm just gonna listen and nod.
yes. And see them laughing and
I would say nothing, it'll be over quicker. Yeah.
Yes. So I think even in that, her mom got her own little mini like arc, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, let me give her some space, let me calm down a little bit. So everyone is just, everyone is better.
Just like, like every character has a bit of an arc, and it's like, you don't see that very often. I really like it. Like, the reason is just incredible.
Yes. I so appreciated that. What was your least favorite scene?
Ooh.
If you
probably the audition, just because I thought it was a little too harsh.
Oh, which one?
The audition.
Oh.
The first one on the stage. I was like, that's just mean. Like, too far, maybe just a little bit. Yeah.
It was unnecessary, but I did find some enjoyment in it. I guess I'm an awful person a little bit. But for me, I think my least favorite scene, because it's so like kind of raw in your face, is when she goes to work the next day and there's the break-in and all that stuff. Yeah. And Santa like literally tells her like, you've turned me into a criminal. Yeah. And so just please clean this up, you stupid girl. And it was probably, I think, the only time that she, in my opinion, threw like a real insult at her. Everything else kind of light or funny or kind of like throwaway, but this was like really like, you hurt me. You hurt my, it's important to me because you're only worried about yourself. And it just, like, it needed to be there. I'm glad it was there, but I'm saying, like, if I, like, it's hard to sit through it because I'm like, yeah. So that's,
and like, Sam was so nice as well, and like, Michelle Yeoh is like that. You just wouldn't expect her to be harsh, so when she is being harsh, like, it's serious. Like, this is not good at all. But obviously, it had to happen. Yeah, and it works well with the story, definitely. Yeah.
You've definitely screwed the pooch.
Oh yeah.
Woo! My other favorite quote, the other thing I like about this movie too is, it's a rom-com, but I really enjoy when like genres subvert expectations and give you more than what you expected. A good horror movie can do this too, because it's more than just scaring you. There's so much social commentary that you can stick into a horror film. And for me, there was quite a few gems in here. And one of them was when they were in Tom's apartment and he was like consoling her, and he told her that there's no such thing as normal. It's a stupid word. There is a lot of damage. And I applauded that line. I'm like, yes, that is correct. Oh, yeah. Do not confuse majority with normal. That doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. It just means that more people fall under this, but it doesn't make them better than the people that fall under this. So it's just, why I'm like,
adds a lot of depth to what would just be an ordinary rom-com. It's like, okay, like, you're doing a lot more here. Like, finally, this is what we need. Change the genre. Like, you know, I love them, but we've had enough, surely. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. That was something I poked fun at in the hot take where I was like, I wasn't expecting all this. Where is
Yeah.
my fake whatever story? Like, I'm
That's
like,
the
but
problem with films.
yeah, but I really did enjoy it. Obviously, like it was just
Yeah.
having fun. But I just it listen. I really enjoyed this movie. Like I loved it. Oh, and the contrast between that first family dinner
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
like
It's completely different. Yeah.
when they were going on, I was like, oh, no wonder she doesn't want to be home.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I see it's nice and peaceful and you're like, okay, okay. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like that.
Um,
Yeah.
so as we're winding down here, before I give you my poll question, are there any kind of like last thoughts or things that you want to say about the movie or we haven't really talked about or discussed?
I mean, so whoever wants to watch it, I would say absolutely do, unless you're playing Whamageddon, of course. Watch it as soon as you're out. But definitely watch it more than once.
Yes.
It's needed. You notice a lot more, and I think that is, the whole point. It's about seeing more than is expected.
Yes.
That's happening right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it the first time, obviously in cinemas, second time in cinemas, and I paid attention to everything that's happening around them more than just the storyline.
Mm.
I think that's just the way to go with this one because you pick up so many little tidbits. Definitely. It's good.
Yeah, and hats off to Santa for being able to maintain a store that sells Christmas caboodles
Absolutely.
all year long. I wonder if stores like that actually exist. You think so?
I feel like there is in Covent Garden. Let
Yeah,
me check.
yeah. And there's got to be. There's got to be.
I wonder. Yeah, there's definitely a few. Hmm.
Interesting.
I'll get back to you on
Okay.
that one. I'm sure that at least was one.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if it's
Okay.
still
You know what? You know what?
sure I've seen them.
We're gonna do some research, do some digging,
Yeah,
and we'll share our findings. I'll send you
definitely.
what I tried. There is one other thing I wanted to mention. So when she came to the bench, the second time, before she knew who he was, and he'd been not missing, he told her like, "Don't rely on me." And she's like, "Okay, I'm going. I'm leaving." And he goes, "Wait, Kate," and she leaves. Normally, normally in a rom-com, it's kind of like that, where it's like, if you just told her the thing, you got to be fine. But this
Yeah.
time, it works. It works. The reason why he doesn't say anything, like it makes sense. The one time it makes sense in a rom-com where it's like, if they just had a conversation, it would solve all the problems. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense why he didn't,
Yeah.
chase after her and say something. So
It was needed.
yes, I'm gonna have. I have to give it that. So the other thing is, I did a poll. I tried to do a poll with every
Yeah.
live. Sometimes I don't have a question, but for this one, I was like, okay, there are a few like well-known like UK Christmas movies,
Yeah.
that we know as well over here in the States. So I said, okay, you know what? What is your favorite? And I listed them four. Love Actually,
Yeah.
Last Christmas, The
Yeah.
Holiday, and Bridget Jones's Diary. Now, I have never
Yes.
seen Bridget Jones's Diary. I didn't even know that it was a Christmas UK movie until I like searched for it. I'm like, oh, okay. So, of those four choices, which one is your favorite?
Oh. probably Love Actually. If I had to pick, like, forcefully, yeah, it would be Love Actually, just because I find it a lot more fun. Obviously, The Holiday is sort of more touching, although it does have Jude Law. Yeah, I'll stick with Love Actually, just because it has a better rounded storyline. There's a lot more going on. You know, it's not just your average boy meets girl.
Yes.
You know, times two, as it were, like in The Holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like everything was just wrapped up a bit too nicely
I
in The
feel
Holiday.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, there needs to be a bit more drama. Yeah.
yes.
What about your favourite? Have you seen Bridget Jones' Diary?
No, I have not seen Bridget Jones' Diary. I haven't seen any of them.
I would hold off because there's a new one coming out. And don't watch the trailer. It spoils everything.
Really?
So if you haven't read the books,
no,
don't watch them. Don't read anything about them, but obviously watch them all just before you go and see the new one.
Should I read the book first and then watch the movie?
Up to you on that one. I know the books are different. Like, I've never read them.
Okay.
They've been in my Kindle library for I don't know how many years, and I've just never got around to them. I don't want to spoil the films. Like, the films, I grew up on them, you know, as a preteen, you know, sat with my mum, like, that's what we did, you know. She's like, okay, come on, you're old enough now, you know. And it's just so funny, even when you're younger, you get a lot of it, but not all. And then now watching as an adult, there's the nostalgia, but there's also, oh, okay, that makes more sense now.
Stuff that you miss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
like, how?
wild. It's wild. Yeah. Okay, so normally, like, when I watch a movie, and if I really enjoy it, and I find out that it's a book, 9 times out of 10, I will hunt down the book and read the book.
Definitely.
I've done it. So I think I will probably treat this the same. Like, I've never seen any of the Bridget Jones' Diary, but based on your recommendation and everything, I'm going to step my foot into the water and watch Bridget Jones's Diary, the first one.
It's worth it.
So my answer is also Love Actually. I have watched that movie numerous times. I also enjoy it. I love everyone in it. I'm with you. It just like it
just meshes perfectly. It's so good. Yeah.
Challenging to do a really good, successful ensemble piece, even when you have that much talent.
Definitely.
We've all seen movies where it did not work.
Oh, yeah.
So I appreciate this a lot.
Yeah. I like how Valentine's Day tried to do the same thing and just didn't.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Have you watched the movie? This is a rom-com. It's not a holiday one. It's just a regular rom-com. It came out, I think, last year or the year before. Have you watched Rye Lane?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved it. It was just so fresh to me.
Yeah,
and the
completely different.
Yes, and they were so interesting.
Yeah. And yet it got what dating life is like. Mm-hmm. It's not all hunky-dory. It's not all perfect. You know, you're all sat on these apps. You know, even when you're with people, it's like, oh, are we together? And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Finally, something that's real.
Yes. And I knew the moment that the meet cute was in the bathroom that I was in the right movie. I was like, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna try to watch it again soon because I love this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much, Poppy, for coming on and sitting down with me. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed our conversation. I hope you've had a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you for like opening me up to this movie. I'm so glad I got to see it. It is now being added to the list of beloved holiday movies. I even had my sister sit down and watch it with me today. I was like, you gotta watch this. You have to watch it. So she enjoyed it
You,
as well. So I'm sharing it. I'm passing it around.
like it, yeah, gotta share it. Gotta share it. Yeah,
So make
it's the
sure
best way.
that you guys go check out How Many Movies in a Year.
Thank you.
Follow her. And you can follow me at We're Movie Lovers or NXG Global Productions. And check out my movie podcast, reviews, films, all the fun stuff. Alrighty.
Amazing.
Well, you take care. You have a lovely evening. Good luck. Keep me updated
Thank you.
on everything.
Oh,
And we will compare notes, okay? On the sample
absolutely.
shop. I'll let you know how Bridget Jones's Diary goes. And we will be doing this again. So,
Definitely. Please do. Yeah.
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It's happening again.
Definitely.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We'll be here for the sequel of Bridget Jones.
Oh.
Now that she's old, and I'll say no more. Yeah.
Okay, now I have to definitely. Okay, okay. I'm going to get up to speed,
Yeah,
and then we're going to meet back
definitely.
here for the new Bridget Jones's movie.
Amazing.